So there is a voice note of Nimrod Nkosi, the man who used to be the presenter for Lotto, and also the one who was the host for the show Amabishop. I'm still under load shedded, okay, so don't have lights. I hope you get this video with clarity. So I can't play directly, but you can go on YouTube and just search Nimrod's audio, and the audio will pop up. So I wanted to kind of play you a small bit of this audio. Then I want to talk about the spiritual aspect of help. It's a very spiritual subject that people don't think about, but I want to talk about it because I want you to realize the weight of service that help is. Let's talk.
Listen, I've been trying to get hold of you, bruh. I thought I should send you a VN. I'm not in a good space right now. Names, as in, I just don't know what to do right now. I'm struggling to process everything. Nah, so to blind and fun, like, I don't know, DEFCON 10 is DEFCON 7 type of blind, and how things just turn around for me. I don't know, you know, like when you feel like I'm in that position.
So Nimrod is saying, if the world could just open and just get in there and just not have to deal with all these things up here, that's where he is.
Look, man, something disturbed me. I just started thinking that almost 20 years, I've given my work, my talents to this industry, to this career, to this game, now I'm losing it all, and I thought I should confess that to you at least, so that I have someone who can support me, as a man, and I've been keeping quiet about it and being strong about it, and I thought, let me just do a 9 to 5, maybe from this band at my age.
So he was even saying, men might have to leave the industry and just go and find an ordinary job, and it's like all these years without work experience in that world and having worked in the industry his entire life.
I don't know, after such a long career, but in the Bible, beggars are not choosers. I'm willing to go and work wherever I'm accepted to work.
I'm willing to work wherever I'm accepted to work. So this is the audio that caught a lot of people by thinking. Some people felt, no, the person should not have released the audio, and I guess the person didn't have any help he could have offered, and he gave the only help he could, which was to present it to everybody else, and people will find how to help if they are able to, right? And so I wanted to talk about the spiritual aspect of help. You see, the reason why help feels such a weighty, it's so heavy. It's heavy. It's not even a burden on. I'm not talking about help within, like helping people that are just always nagging, always needy and wanting. No, I'm talking about a help that this is a strong hand. They're just going through a rough patch, right? That level of understanding your help or the help you're giving, it's a very spiritual thing in a sense. First of all, if you go to James, the famous chapter in James that people love all rounds, when the Bible says faith faith without works is dead. They love that verse, but they've never realized that the verse is not saying works is what tells you that someone is saved. The verse is not saying that by any chance. The verse is actually saying that faith with works gives a testimony that you are saved. It's not that it says you are saved. It gives a testimony. It gives a voice to you who has been given help. The verse was actually about help. The verse has nothing to do with salvation. James chapter number 2. If you go and you read James chapter number 2, verse number 17, verse 2, James 2, verse number 17. Even so, faith is, if it has no works, is a dead by being alone. Yea, a man say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without works, and I'll show you my faith with works. So what he's talking about is faith that has reputation. He's not saying works say a person is saved. Works say a person is maturing. Don't get it twisted. That's a completely different thing. That's not what he's questioning. Because a lot of times people use works to say, yeah, this is Msalan. You are very shallow. You'll be very easily deceived. You are meat for wolves. You are meat for, because people can present works all day until you live around them and the filth starts to drag up. Listen to the verse. He says, yea, thou believes that there is God. It says that you do well, the devils believe as well. But listen to what it says. Thou know, O man, okay, that faith without works is dead. Then he goes on to actually explain what faith without works is dead actually means. If you go to the earlier verses, verse number 13, it says, he shall have judgment without mercy, that has shown no mercy, and mercy rejoice. You ought to show mercy, right? That's what the verse says. Then he says, against judgment. He says, what does it profit, my brethren, though a man has faith and does not have works? Can faith save him? When he says, can faith save him, can that faith save him in his reputation before other people? Now someone will say, no, Ricky, you are making it up. Let's read further. Context is everything, is it not? Relax. You are rushing. You want to be right because you think works are saving you. Stop it. Behave. Listen to what this verse says. He says, if a brother, verse 15, if a brother or a sister be naked and is destitute of daily food, notice the need. He says, and any one of you say unto them, depart and be in peace, and be filled and be warm. He says, notwithstanding that thou give him what is needful for the body, what does it profit? So when he says that faith is dead, is that it doesn't give that person a testimony of your faith. No, why should I? I don't care what people say. In the terms of it speaking for your reputation, there it is. He says it gives a testimony to your faith. So help is a very spiritual thing in its sense. Help is a very spiritual thing, and I wanted to talk about that. This is not going to be a very favorite for many people. It's not going to be a favorite for many people. The first verse that highlights this idea of help being a thing. Galatians chapter number 6 verse number 2 says, to carry one another's burden. In this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. So there's a law you're fulfilling in being able to carry another person's burden. It's first. Number 2, Hebrews chapter number 13, verse number 16. It says, do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifice God is pleased. That's a verse. With such sacrifice God is pleased. Remember the Bible, what the Bible says in Romans chapter number 12. Romans chapter number 12 says to present yourself holy, and by so doing, he says, you will know what is the good will of God. You'll be able to test what is the good will of God. Right here he tells you, yeah, it is good to think that is a sacrifice that pleases God. It goes back to that Romans chapter 12 idea. So this is something you will be able to. Now bear in mind, I'm not talking about people that are nagging. I'm not talking about people that are always, always just, you prayerfully do so. You will know when the right person comes that you help. In Matthew, it says, truly I tell you, whatever you did unto the least of this, my brethren, this is a context of help within the second coming. Matthew chapter number 25, verse number 40, when he says, as you have done unto the least of this, my brethren, people use that verse for charity. The verse is not about charity. The verse is about second coming. At the second coming, the way in which Jews will be treated is going to be so horrendous. And you can see the foundations of it right now. And so for those people who have been of help to Jews, there is a reward specifically. There is a reward. The verse literally highlights it there. Those who have done this to the least of this, my brethren, then he lists out the reward that they will have. You see, even in the end time, it is of great help. First John chapter number 3, verse number 18, right? Verse number 18. This is what it says, dear children, let us not love in words or in speech only, but with action and in truth. So we love in telling people the truth, and we love in action as well. And you see this idea basically as a thing. Proverbs chapter number 19, verse number 17 then highlights it even further. It says, the one who does something to the one who is in need actually does it unto God, and God will credit that deed that they did. 1 Corinthians chapter number 3 then qualifies that, and it says that all the deeds that someone did, God will bring it up to a report of what sort was the deed done. It was done in good, God rewards it. If it is in vain, God does not reward. You see right there the spiritual aspects of help. So you see that person who reposted Nimrod's thingy, help. He went beyond. I can't do anything, but someone might be able to. He posted it out. And there were people in the industry, hey, it's a vision of privacy. What? Nimrod got the help. Even his reaction was, he didn't expect that someone was going to hear that. It's a spiritual thing. That's why it's weighty. You feel a weight when you're doing it. I'm not talking about you stinginess. I'm talking about a weight. You just feel a weight. Like, yes. It's draining. Help is a very spiritual thing. It's attached to something in eternity. And you see, as the church, that is the thing we tend not to think. You see, we are supposed to be better in everyday life. That tomorrow, that when people encounter us today, what we are before them, it just brightens their day. That is what God has put us here in this form for. Help is spiritual. That's why, why do you think the Bible says, do not get tired of weary doing? Why do you think the Bible says that? Think about it. You think about it. Now, even you, maybe you ask someone for help and they don't, or maybe they forget or something, whatever it is, right? Understand this here. It's a very spiritual thing. That's why the Bible says, do not get tired. It's something a person can get tired of. Yeah. Not because you're a bad person. No. The idea of this particular act, because it stretches beyond. You have to deny flesh to do it. It's very weighty. It's a heavy thing. It's a very heavy thing. Help. Think about the guy that carried the cross with Messiah, with Jesus. His record we are still reading till date. We are still reading his record till date. The woman that washed Jesus' feet and then poured oil on them. The Bible says, you see the thing that she has done, it will be recorded in times ahead. It meant something towards eternity. He says this will be written wherever the gospel is preached. This woman's testimony will. Why? Because that woman anointed him for thinking which others will not get to do. Help is spiritual. That's why there's literally blood covenants or ritual covenants where a person will not be allowed to give money. You've seen those? Yeah. They will not allow you. There are certain rituals where they'll make you all the money, they will give you all the money, but they are not allowed to help anyone. They can spend on a person. Yeah, they'll spend the life out of your feet. But you go to them and you're like, they can't do it. There's such contracts. You've heard of them. You don't need further help. Spiritual. So it's something. It's quite a very interesting one. I just kind of thought about it when I was listening to thingy, but it's something I wanted to talk about. I think last when Malinga, this particular topic, when Malinga's video came out, and I wanted to end, and he was crying and what. When that video happened and Malinga got back up on his feet, and then people were now starting to drag him, when I think he bought a car, or you are saying he bought a car which he had not bought. He was just flexing and stuff like that, and people came back to him and they were saying to him, how we helped you yesterday and now you are here talking, you are now bragging to us. And that shows you the spiritual aspect of help. That's why there are people, you might have gone to school with them, and maybe their careers did not turn out as well, and so forth, and in the future you meet them and you point back and you're like, hey, remember, and that person, the only thing that I can point back is to the particular help that I once gave you. It's a spiritual thing. If there's anything, help is a very spiritual thing. That's why the Bible says, do not get weary of well-doing. Scriptural show with the daily Christian commentary videos. Other episodes done today, they'll be done in the pinned comments. I hope you learned something today, and keep everybody in prayer. Don't take it too personal. It's a very spiritual thing. And as a matter of fact, another thing is, the moment someone starts helping you, they can get themselves in trouble as well. You know that? Yeah. You see, you have a difficulty, someone starts helping you, and they start having problems on the side. Yeah. And so it's nothing to take personal, because maybe someone can help or what. It's never something to take personal. It's a spiritual warfare. Help is a spiritual warfare. Yeah. I hear people classifying giving to church as, you're fighting battles. It's giving into something you don't know. Is this going to turn out into something? Think about taking a child to school 20 plus years. You don't know if this is going to turn out into anything, but you do it. There's a spiritual. These things are spiritual in nature. Think about it. That's why it's such a difficult thing. It's such a difficult thing. In church, you can talk about anything. You can talk about anything. The day you talk about money, there are people that will legit leave church because of money. There are people who till date, their only church hurt was that the ones gave money and then they found out that the pastor was fake. They left church completely. You just know that person was never interested in God. They left church completely. Why? Spiritual. That's why there's even people who go when they do their rituals and stuff like that. The way they will get access in doing that ritual is they will ask something. You've seen those type of things, right? They'll ask. See a person come and ask money for this, and then they don't need money for that thing. But it's when they ask it and you give it, then they can go and sing. It can't be just money that they are borrowing. It's money that they ask for some specific thing and then they go in. It's spiritual help. Spiritual. That's why it has a weight on it. It feels weighty. It feels like a burden. Do not get tired or weary in well doing. Scriptural show with daily Christian commentary videos. We forever stay learning.